Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. It's looking pretty good once again in terms of weather and Bitcoin and crypto. I do have something to share with you guys. Well, like an update. Those of you guys that watch my Thursday night video, I did get some predictions from ChatGPT. So I did want to give you guys an update on that. But before I get to that, let's talk about what to expect this coming week. Update on those predictions and some final thoughts on just overall what I think is happening. So as I'm filming this right now, Bitcoin is making a little push upwards around 106. Yeah, today it's actually been pretty volatile in a good way. Light volume, low volume on a Sunday. Asia is about to wake up in a few hours, so it'll be quite interesting. We hit 106 earlier today, dropped back down a little bit. We're testing at 106 once again. It looks like the momentum is definitely back and pushing upwards. And if you're looking at like short-term indicators, none of them look overbought at this point. So things are looking good. Last week we also saw a lot of very good things. ETF inflows, massive, plus 5 billion. So obviously, whenever you have massive amount of Bitcoin being removed from circulation into ETFs, that's good. Exchange reserves still going down. I saw the latest statistics showing about like another 1.3% drop from the exchanges. So that's good. So overall, things are looking good, right? Macro conditions, not a whole lot. I mean, it didn't get worse, it didn't get any better. This week, we do have a Fed governor, I forget which one, that'll be speaking on Tuesday. And obviously everyone's going to want to know what his thoughts are about a cut in June, which looks very unlikely now. But who knows? Maybe he will say that he still thinks that we should get a cut in June. Who knows? Who knows? But right now, if you look at the CME predictions, it's not looking good for June. So it's looking like we may have to wait until July. But you know what? If markets are soaring upwards, then so be it. We have to wait one more month, right? But when we get that rate cut and quantitative easing starts once again, that's going to be huge as well. Look at my background. I don't know. I'm looking on my screen. The background looks gorgeous. Gorgeous. Just beautiful all around. It's like a cool 65 degrees right now. It's not hot. It's really, really nice. But yeah, so outside of that, we on Wednesday we had Fed minutes that'll be released, showcasing what was said in the last FOMC meeting, which, as I recall, wasn't a whole lot. Basically, Powell just wants to wait and see to get more clarity. Really, that's it. Talked about stagflation. I don't know if there's anything else. Maybe something else comes out of there. But recently, these 5 minutes haven't really been moving markets, so probably a big nothing burger. Outside of those two things, obviously, there may be more trade talks, trade deals, stuff like that could come out of nowhere. Who knows, right? If something gets announced, it'll be a big catalyst to drive things upwards. But if not, it's more the same. It's okay. That's okay. We're getting more and more bullish things. If we don't get macro bullish things, but in terms of crypto and Bitcoin especially, we're getting more and more bullish news and adoption every single week, right? So yeah. So we're getting some push right now. We're getting a little push right now. And you know, this kind of relates to what that ChatGPT prediction, well, one of the predictions said. So Thursday night, I put out a video. I'm like, all right, let's test ChatGPT. I told it to run 10 popular indicators against Bitcoin, and then 10 popular signals that Wall Street uses. So basically, it used like 20 different things. I looked at Bitcoin, and it looked at everything and said, you know what? There's a bullish bias towards Bitcoin. It looked at all these things, put it all together, and it said there's a good chance that Bitcoin is going to go up this weekend, and overall the movement is looking positive. It's looking bullish. One of the predictions it made was if we can close on Friday and stay above 104, that Sunday, especially Sunday night, with low volatility, we could be pushing towards 107 to 109, right? Getting close or matching our previous all-time high. So that's with everything that it saw. It did state some percentages. It did state that there could be some macro stuff that offset this, but overall, it thought that this was a good chance. I think it says like 60% chance that this could be happening Sunday night. And today, sure enough, we're seeing an upwards movement. So right before I came out here, I asked ChatGPT, look at Bitcoin again. What do you think? Has anything changed? And overall, it says no. The bullish momentum and bias is still there. Nothing looks overbought. All indicators still look good. And it thinks that if we can break and crack through 106, we will be heading anywhere from, or heading towards 106.5 to 108 or something like that. So within range. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight when Asia opens up, if that is actually the case. If we do hit a new all-time high, either tonight or tomorrow for Bitcoin, well, no one's gonna complain. We've been waiting since January, right? It seems like it's forever, but we're so close. We're only $4,000 or $3,500 away. So we're getting there. We're really, really close. So hopefully most of you guys watching this been stacking sats and DCAing, because it's the ultimate strategy. It's the one strategy that never fails, especially with an asset like Bitcoin, because you guys know it's scarce, it's still maturing, and the global adoption is increasing, and there's so much more coming, right? So we'll see if ChatGPT is right about going to that 107, 108 mark tonight. We could be. By the time you guys watch this, we could be up there, because we're already at 106. So it's not like it's that far-fetched to jump up 1,000 or 2,000 points. Very easy with low volume, right? Now, second part of this, I did ask it about I did ask it to analyze a lot of the alts, and I haven't really studied whether the performance of those alts have been right or not, but I did notice that today the alts are not doing so well despite Bitcoin going upwards. That's usually a good thing, and it happens, and here's why. Because usually when Bitcoin gets pushed up, all the liquidity gets soaked out of all the alts, and then it's used to drive Bitcoin higher. And once Bitcoin hits that next leg upwards, or the next level, that's when the liquidity comes back and drives the alts upwards. That's usually how it works, especially when there's huge moves upwards. Liquidity gets pulled from everywhere. There's times where I've seen it in past cycles. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, but in past cycles, you had days where alts bled, went into the negatives, while Bitcoin was pumping upwards, because all the money was being sucked out and being driven into Bitcoin. I don't think we really see that anymore. We just see the alts kind of just be stagnant while Bitcoin goes up, and we could see that again. So again, interesting tonight, if we do continue upwards, will we see the alts stay flat? Because they're pretty much still all flat. I looked at all the major ones like Solana, XRP, SUI, ETH, all these ones. They're actually at the same level as we were like on Friday or Thursday when Bitcoin was still at like 103. Right now that Bitcoin is at 105, 106, they haven't really gone up. But if we do break into that all-time high tonight, I don't know if we're actually going to break into all-time high tonight. If we do, there's going to be a good chance. There's a lot of shorts being liquidated, so we could get a short squeeze. But if we do, I expect we're going to hit some kind of level, right? That short-term level could be our previous high, 109, it could be 110, something like that. And once we hit it, that's when money will flow into the alts once again. And that's something that we saw earlier last week. We saw a lot of these L1s, L0, L1, L2s have a really good spike. The memes spiked up. A lot of the oversold niches spiked up, and we could see something like that happen in the near future once again. So right now, alts are still weak, but the beauty is it gives you time to continue to load up. You know, a lot of people when they look at Bitcoin, obviously for me, maybe not everyone has this mentality. For me, it's a game of accumulation, right? With Bitcoin, it's a long-term investment, and you just accumulate as much as you can over the course of your lifetime, I guess, right? So you just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. But you know, a lot of people don't have that mentality. A lot of people only load up on alts, for example, or have very little in Bitcoin, right? So they may not be as cheerful or happy right now because they're still not back to their all-time highs, or their portfolio is just too heavy in alts. But you know, just like Bitcoin, if you stack the right alts and you continue DCA, I believe they will come back and you'll be rewarded. It just takes a little bit longer. We're not in altcoin season yet, but once we do get there, you will be rewarded. It's really that simple. And for those that now regret not DCAing into Bitcoin, well, you can always start DCAing Bitcoin still, but seeing how close we are to the top already, right? You may feel like you missed out. You could have bought some in the 70s, 80s, 90s, low 100s. In the last 4 months, we had plenty of times where Bitcoin was stuck in the high 70s, even mid 70s, low 80s for sure for many months, low 90s for many months. But if you missed out, well, know that the alts, like I mentioned, like XRP, Solana, SUI, ETH, even AVAX, you know, Chainlink, and some of these other L1s and L2s, and even AI plays, right, and DeFi plays, they're nowhere near their January high. So you still have time to load up and DCA before they get back to their January high, before they get to their 2021 high. It may take a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But overall, Bitcoin's the big daddy. If you don't have enough Bitcoin in your portfolio by now, you should have learned that it's very important. Bitcoin is unlike anything else. Bitcoin does not compete with anything else. Bitcoin stands on its own. I always found like back in the day, ETH maxis or whatever, you know, or no, Bitcoin maxis were threatened by ETH or something like that. I'm like, that's stupid. ETH does not threaten Bitcoin. Nothing threatens Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in a category by itself. And so far, Bitcoin has stood out and has really outperformed everything. So even at its current levels, even if it breaks into all-time high, it's not too late. The top for Bitcoin is infinite, really. There is no top. So, never too late. All right, that's pretty much it. I think tonight will be very interesting. Tonight will be very interesting. Could be very, very good interesting. If Asia wakes up and starts buying, we could definitely see close or equal or even a new high for Bitcoin. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are too. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time as usual, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, and if you guys like these ChatGPT predictions, I'll start integrating them more into my regular videos. You know, again, I know it makes a lot of mistakes, but it's quite interesting to see the power of AI and how much compute it can do or process in such a short amount of time, right? So it's not 100%. It's going to make a lot of mistakes, but you know what? We'll just consider it entertainment, right? But if it could help us, then great. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.